Sharon Cuthbertson is the coordinator and instructor in a brand new program here at Florida Gateway College, Early Childhood Education. First of all, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Florida Gateway College. You're brand new here too.
I am. I started in August as the early childhood instructor and coordinator, and I'm really having a good time. Everybody's very welcoming.
Well, let me ask you, what in this career, what are you doing? I know you're around little children. How old are we talking about? How old a child are we talking about when you say early childhood education?
When we say early childhood education, I am talking birth through age 5 for our staff credential through DCF, and birth through age 4 for our bachelor's program.
Now, when you say birth, does this mean like you train nannies or here's a funny word, au pair? I mean, you train those folks as well?
If those people would like to come through the program, they're more than welcome to come through the program. However, we really focus on child care settings, and more child care settings are offering programs for children and infants as young as 6 weeks old. And so we are really working from birth on up.
Well, and you have to be in a setting like that. There's obviously differences between a 6-month-old, 6-week-old versus 2 and 3, the terrible 2s and stuff. And so there is a difference, and that's what you're teaching this.
Yes, absolutely, there is a difference. There are definitely some developmental milestones that the children go through, and 6-week-olds are definitely different than what a 6-month-old can do and what a 12-month-old can do. And so we really do focus on going from infancy through the preschool years.
Now, it's important to have credentials. A lot of parents, this is their baby, and I don't mean that in a negative way. My baby, this is my baby, you know, and so they're very particular about where they're sending and especially if this is your first child, you want to do all your homework on a child care facility. The better credentialing that your facility has, the better chance that you're going to have more business, correct?
Yes, absolutely. We have a serious problem in some situations of having high quality environments for the children. And so to be able to offer the education to the instructors for those child care centers is really going to increase the quality of the care that they do receive.
Sharon, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but do you think that a lot of, because most of these child care facilities are regulated by the state of Florida, and they have inspections and HR, I used to call it HRS, I don't know.
DCF.
DCF comes in and monitors unannounced. So you have to be on top of what you're doing.
Yes, yes. And I do believe in my crystal ball that in the future there are going to be more strict requirements of what the education level is going to be for those early childhood instructors. If I can give an example,
sure.
Head Start a couple of years ago began saying that it would be best practice to have teachers, 50% of their teachers have an associate degree in early childhood education. Shortly thereafter, all of their teachers needed to have an associate degree. And now federal law is that 50% of the Head Start lead teachers need to have a bachelor's degree in early childhood. And so if we look at what has happened in the past and project that towards the future, I personally foresee the federal government coming and saying for Head Start, all teachers need to have a bachelor's degree in early childhood education.
And like I said with your crystal ball, it may occur as it does gradually. It may be that in 5 years from now, everybody has to have a bachelor's degree in early childhood education.
Absolutely, absolutely. The state voluntary pre-kindergarten system, right now, the legislature has recommended as best practice that teachers continue with their education, and although they only need to have the staff credential, the DCF staff credential, in order to be a lead teacher in a voluntary pre-kindergarten classroom, the legislature is already looking at the future and suggesting it as best practice that they increase their education and continue on. So
Florida Gateway College is on the leading edge in this educational potential down the road.
Yes, there is a need for highly trained, well-educated early childhood professionals in the North Central Florida area, and so Lake City is going to be able to meet that need.
Would you say that young ladies or young men, I guess men are in this field as well, you don't see a lot of guys in early childhood education, but would it be a mistake for a young lady out there that is in high school to say, I don't need any credentialing, I'll just go to work at a child care center?
Actually, that would be a mistake for somebody who's coming out of high school, because there are centers now who require you to have at least your staff credential, which you have to have a standard high school diploma in order to receive that staff credential, because it is college level courses, and that credential also does apply to college level classes, and you receive credit for that if you continue on for your associate's degree.
So if there are any parents that are watching the program today and they think that their child, or they've been told by their child that they're not going to have to go anywhere, that's a mistake. It's a misconception out there that you will need some credentialing. Bachelor's degree is where it's going to be in the future. Talk about this program. How does one get into this program that we start, and it's going to be in the fall of this current year?
Anybody that has their associate's degree, either their associate's in science or their associate in art, is eligible to apply to the program. You would first complete your application for college admission, and then you would also need to complete an application to the Bachelor's of Early Childhood program itself. So there are two application processes that they have to go through.
Okay, but if they don't have their AA or their AS, they can apply to the college and get their AA or their AS, and then it would be 2 years from that point that they could apply to the bachelor's program.
Absolutely, absolutely. They could go ahead and apply to the college for the Associates in Science and Early Childhood Education, and as their coordinator or advisor, I would be able to lead them through and get all of those pre-required classes and all of that foundation that they would need in order to continue on.
So you're the go-to person for early childhood education, AA, or is it AA?
It's an AS.
AS degree. So you're looking at, folks, you're looking at the person who you're going to have to deal with, and she's an expert in it. She'll tell you what classes you need to take. If you're in high school, if you're a junior in high school right now, and you're interested in this field, would it be a good idea to come out and talk to you in their junior year to see what they need to be taking in high school so that they're prepared to do the coursework when they get to college?
They could absolutely come out and talk to me. I know that some of the high schools in the area have early childhood centers located on the school grounds so that they can go ahead and get some experience working with young children and receive some of their early childhood courses that they have while they're in high school, and so they are coming to college already with a really good foundation that we can go ahead and build on.
You know, we talk about our dual enrollment program where we have kids that as early as sophomores in high school that are coming to the college, either online classes or they're coming to the college and they're taking required courses for their AS or their AA. Would this be something that kids need to be looking at too, or maybe parents should be, you know, Susie is really interested in child care, she does babysitting now, that looks like it may be a career for her. Can she come out, can they come out and talk to you and do a pathway through our dual enrollment? They
could go ahead and come out and talk with me. I'm not quite certain how the dual enrollment will work with the high school students that want to go into the Associate of Science for Early Childhood Education. I'm not sure how that path will work for them, but they could definitely take some of the general education requirements that they have.
What would you suggest to a high school kid? What would you suggest they be taking? Is it heavy math intensive? Is it heavy language arts intensive? What should they be getting themselves prepared for to come to Florida Gateway College?
For the associate's degree, they have some general education requirements. They have to take basic classes in each one of the specific domains. But really, we have a large focus in education, foundational education, and early childhood courses. And then if they choose to continue on for their bachelor's degree, then they will have some more general education requirements that they do have to meet. But again, it does have a very strong early childhood education core focus to it. So for a high school student that would be interested in it, that has been doing some babysitting services and things like that, I would probably suggest to them that they go through some coursework. DCF has a training program that they can go to, even though they haven't quite finished high school yet. They can do that as a great start. Get into some child care centers and get some experience. Even though it's early childhood, and I say it's birth through age 4, in my experience, you meet people and they have a certain age that's a niche for them. They may love the infants. They may love holding those kids and feeding them and having that time. And then it takes a special person to work with those 2-year-olds that are in the no stage, that are in the biting stage, and the patience that it takes. And so I would suggest to somebody, go to the child care centers and work with different age groups to find out if one of those ages really speaks to them.
Are there some prerequisites that they have to get into the bachelor's program?
There are some prerequisites that they do need to have. There are 3 classes that they have to have before being admitted into the program. Those 3 classes are EDF 1005, which is Introduction to the Teaching Profession, EDF 2085, which is Introduction to Diversity for Educators, and then also EME 2040, which is Introduction to Technology for Educators. Those 3 classes they have to have before being admitted to the program.
Okay, so if you've already got if you've got some degree already, those are 3 that you need to have. When are those offered?
Those 3 classes they have to have before being admitted to the program.
Okay, so if you've already got if you've got some degree already, those are 3 that you need to have. When are those offered? Are they?
Those are actually offered. 2 of them are offered in the summer, and then the EDF 1005, Introduction to the Teaching Profession, is going to be offered in the fall. Each one of those classes, though, is generally offered at least once in the fall and once in the spring.
The goal is to have 30 or 40 folks in the first class, right?
Oh, that would be the ultimate goal, yes.
How do you apply? Let me back up. Rather than finding out how you apply, should they come out and talk to you first and find out? I mean, we're giving them a lot of information here today. Would you recommend that you talk to them first and tell them what they're going to have to be required to do before they apply? I mean, it's like taking a job in Hawaii. You think that's going to be the greatest thing in the world until you get out there and find out the cost of living is extremely high and your paycheck's not going as far. Would it be good to talk to you first?
Absolutely. They could certainly give me a call and talk to me, and I can talk to them on the phone and give them information. I can have them come in, schedule an appointment. They can come in and speak with me in my office one-on-one. That would be great also. There is a lot of information, and so what I also generally do is I'm talking to people on the phone is I take their email address, and that allows me to go ahead and send them an email. So all of the information that I gave them over the phone, it can be kind of overwhelming because there is so much of it. And then when you're thinking after the fact, okay, what did she say about this? What did she say about that? I can send you an email that basically outlines the conversation that we had so that you do have a reference that you can go back to. And then certainly come in and meet with me, and we can go through the classes that you've already had, the classes that you do need to take, and talk about what their future plans are.
Now, a lot of the folks that this pertains to are ones who are already in the working field. They're already working at either Happy House or Head Start or any of the Busy Bee, any of these child care facilities currently. How much work is this bachelor's program going to be? Because I have a feeling a lot of them are going to say, you know, I'm working full time. How do you make all that happen?
Well, the classes are designed. I'm thinking of the working professional as I'm working on these classes. We have it designed for full-time students, and so that is an option if full-time is what you're interested in. We also have classes you can take part-time, and so obviously it will take longer, but I'm designing the program also for those part-time students that need to work full-time, because you're going to be working, you're going to have a family, you're going to have children at home, you've got all of these outside requirements that are also going to be biting for your time.
Well, you know, and you look at these nurses that are going through the nursing program and have sacrificed a lot of times family to come back and get their bachelor's degree. So you really got to hand it to them, and it takes a special person to, you know, work full time and then go to class. And if they do have a family, and a lot of these girls are married and have families. It's tough. So the decision you make, you know, you got to stick with it.
Yes, absolutely. It is definitely a commitment. From experience, I went to school. I went to community college and got my associate's degree. I got married while I was in community college, and I married into a ready-made family, and I worked full-time. So when students come and talk to me about the struggles that they're facing, I can empathize with them because I went through those struggles myself, and I understand what sacrifices they have to make in order to be able to accomplish their educational goals as well as be there for their family and their work life.
Now, I was looking at the notes you sent. It's 16 classes, correct? 16 upper-level classes?
Yes.
Name a couple of them that you know, always are. You mentioned diversity training for educators, and what are some of the other classes?
Those are the required classes for admission. Once you are in the program, there are also 4 lower level associates level classes that are required that you take throughout. You can either take them prior to admission to the program, or you can take them as co-requisites throughout the program. Those classes are Introduction to Early Childhood Education Foundations, Observing and Recording Young Children, and also an internship.
So a lot of this is going to not be just the classroom. You're going to be in centers where the kids are.
Exactly. Some of the classes do have field experience components, and so they will have to go into the classroom. And some of them are also going to have, they're going to be working in the classroom. And so one of the nice things about this program is because we understand that a lot of our students are going to be working, they can choose to do their internship, they can choose to do their field experience inside their own classroom.
And it just takes the permission of the owner of the child care center, and a little, you know, make sure you write down when they were there, and so it can be easily done.
Absolutely.
Talk about, you know, we were mentioning that a lot of the women that are, and guys, I don't want to leave guys out because I know there's some guys in this program. You talk about hardships and having to work. There is a way to do this, doing it through the financial aid route and scholarship routes, where you could maybe quit your job or go on a hiatus till you got your degree, but apply for financial aid. That's always available. That
is always available. That's a really good point. We do have financial aid that will be available for the bachelor's students. And another thing that I also wanted to point out, I'm not a financial aid person. I don't understand it really. I will openly admit to that.
But you can send them where they need to go.
I can absolutely send them to where they need to go.
Well, and we had Becky Westbury on the program from our financial aid office, and she outlined. In fact, we talked and we said there is no reason, there's no excuse why you can't go back to school, because whether it's a student loan, whether it's a Pell Grant, there is a way for everyone who wants to go to school and has the aptitude for it. They can go, and you can direct them where they need to go.
Absolutely. I may not know the answer, but I can certainly tell them who can give them the answer. And one other thing that I would like to point out for our working potential students, finding time to go to classes is sometimes very difficult. So we have designed this program that all of the early childhood courses will be available online.
So if you miss a class, you could always see it online?
The class itself is online.
Oh, okay.
So all of our discussion posts, all of the assignments, all of our class meetings, everything will be online, and so they'll be able to do their assignments at their leisure before their kids wake up, after their kids go to bed, stuff like that.
You know, you look at that commercial we saw for the college where the little girl was sleeping on the couch and mama's sitting on the couch and she's doing her. That's what we're all about here. We make it as easy as possible. You can take your class at 2 o'clock in the morning if it's convenient for you. I wanted to talk about scholarships, and you may want to look at this if you're working currently in a facility, whether it's Swanee Valley 4Cs, whether it's the Head Start program. Some of these organizations have scholarship programs to where they want their people to have the highest level of education, because it only makes their facility that much better.
Absolutely.
And they could check into something like that.
Absolutely. This is a type of a situation where you really want to explore every avenue and every option that you have available for that financial assistance.
So it's, again, as Becky and I were talking about, there's no reason why. We have, I think we give away more than $250,000 in scholarships through our foundation every year, and part of those scholarships are for early childhood education. You have how many in the program so far?
I have approximately 5 students who have filled out the application for the program.
And the deadline for the fall term?
The deadline?
August, right?
Yes, it is. It's going to be in August. We're going to use the same deadline as the general application for the school.
I believe it's August 6th. But I'm going to tell you, don't procrastinate. Call this lady here at Florida Gateway College. You can reach her during the day, 754-4495, or you can log on to www.fgc.edu and follow the link to the Early Childhood Education Program. There's a list of answers to any question that you might have about the program and where it is. And again, don't procrastinate. Get your application. At least make a phone call to this person here and ask her the questions. Set up an appointment. Come out and look at the college. I know there are a lot of folks that live in Lake City that are watching this tonight. May have never been on our college campus. May be new to the area. Come out, look at where your room is and where you teach, and do that if you're interested in this program. You've been great. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you very much. It's been wonderful being here.
And thank you all for watching Perspective here on Florida Gateway College Television. Until next time, I'm Mike McKee. So long.